want to show y'all something. See that? Hear it? I don't really feel it side to side. Definitely feel it up and down. And from what I can tell, the whole hub isn't moving. So I don't think it's the... Let's get up under here and see. I don't think it's ball joint. Almost like a loose wheel bearing or something. We get up under it. I'm looking at the wheel bearing. I'm looking at the ball joint. And it's definitely not the whole spindle. It's definitely got to be in the wheel bearing or something. It's just odd I don't get it side to side. It's just up and down. So we're gonna have to, in fact, just to prove that it's in the, I'm got my hand leveraging up against the upper part of the control arm. It is definitely in the wheel bearing. So we're going to tear into it and see what's going on here. Clean that off and we'll pop the cap off. I know you don't have the best view, but the camera doesn't like the sun. So I can work in the sun, the camera doesn't work in the sun. It feels like the back bearing is loose. You know, I hope it's not the race loosen the hub. Let's get an old rag. Get some of this grease wiped out. Really good setup that they have on these. I'll get y'all in closer. Maybe I can shade the camera or something. Alright, I got y'all a makeshift cover. What you've got on these things, get me a bag or something to pull all of our stuff in a box, is it's like a clamp bolt. This outer thing is a bolt, but it's got a slot in it, or it's a nut. It's got a slot in it, and it's got a Allen bolt going through it. What that allows you to do is you tighten this to get the right tension on the bearing, and then you snug this Allen bolt down, and it tightens it up on the shaft where it can't turn. So I think what we're going to do first, we're going to see how loose that is. So that's snugged it up. Let me get my rag so we don't get this stuff all over the rotors. So I tightened it up just a little bit. think we're good. I think it was just a little loose. Figure out how much. Okay, that's tight. Back off. Just a hair right there. I think we're going to call it. Now let's see. And we know that's not too tight because we put it hand tight and we backed it off. So I think that's. And we went maybe, we were almost straight across before, and we just turned just that much. I mean, it didn't take much to tighten it up. And so I'm going to go pack the cap full of grease. Not full of grease, but pack some grease in the cap, and we'll tap the cap back on. Like I said, I guess I just left it a little loose before. Alright, I got some grease in the cap. Do not tap on this one. The other side was just so dented in from people tapping on that. I had to beat it back out. And definitely don't get the bearing too tight. Too tight is worse than too loose. It causes them to run hot. It'll burn up a bearing. And we're just going to tighten this down. We're going to see if we feel any looseness anymore. Now we still got looseness. What I'm worried about is that we've got a loose race in the hub. It's tight enough, there should not be any looseness. It's not, that it's too loose. Alright, so we're going to pull this thing off. If we've got a loose race, I think what I'm going to do is just pull a hub off the parts car. I'm not going to mess with a loose race. Sometimes you can ping around them, you know, with a punch and save the hub, but since I've got a parts car, we're not going to mess with it. But we're jumping ahead of ourselves. That may not be the issue. Could be a bad bearing, one that's just got a lot of wear in it, but I don't hear any noise when I spin it. You know, it's nice and quiet, so it sounds good. Forgot to unbolt the caliper. Let me get some bolt, or get what size is that? This be like an 18 or a 19. It is hot out here. I would put a fan on me, but if I do that. There's two 19mm bolts on the back. You're gonna have to break those loose. That'll pull the caliper off. Alright, now we're just going to wiggle the caliper off. I think we'll, just so we don't dump this bearing on the ground, we'll start our nut back on here. Problem is, our caliper's got a little bit of a groove, or our rotor's got a little bit of a groove here. It's being difficult to get the pads over that groove. Pry them off. We're going to set this on the tie rod so that we don't hang it by the brake hose. That's never a good idea. I'm going to clean our gloves up here. Go ahead and pull this front bearing off. And from what I can tell, looking at it, it looks fine. Don't think there's an issue there. I think we've got an issue on the back. And I do not have a wheel seal for this. I guess there's any way that spindle itself could be loose on the... I wouldn't think so. We're going to take a look at the spindle. I'm looking to make sure the spindle's not, you'll make sure bearing didn't seize on here or something, and it looks okay. I don't really see any issue. You can see where the bearing has rode on it, but I don't feel any place where it could be loose. And there's no looseness there. So we definitely, I think we're going to end up popping the seal out. I do not have another seal put back, so we'll have to see if we can get one locally or try to save this seal. Put this down here and see if we can save that seal. I just drove the bearing out and the seal with it. So we're going to take a look at this bearing. The bearing looks okay. Nothing really stands out there. Our seal is okay. If I can get one locally, I'll get one. If not, I don't see any issue with that one. So let's clean this up. Get some more rags.